The hospital room smelled clean and quiet, filled with soft white light. Emma lay on the bed, pale and tired, but her eyes were gentle as she looked at the small baby wrapped in a pink blanket. "She's beautiful," Emma whispered. The baby blinked slowly. Her tiny hand moved, holding Emma's finger. Jack stood beside the bed. He looked calm, but his eyes were complicated. He nodded lightly. "Yes." Outside the room, footsteps grew louder. The door opened, and the family walked in one by one. Robert, the family patriarch, came first. He wore a serious face, like he was still in a meeting instead of a hospital. Linda followed him, smiling softly. Anna walked in last, carrying flowers, sweet and polite. "Congratulations," Robert said. "The Johnson family finally has a granddaughter." Emma smiled politely. She was used to this distance. Since marrying into the family, she had always felt like a guest, never truly part of them. The nurse placed the baby carefully into the crib beside the bed. "She's healthy. Very healthy." Suddenly, a clear, sharp voice echoed in the room. "Wow, so this is the legendary rich family." Everyone froze. Jack frowned. "Who said that?" The nurse's face went white. I didn't say anything." The voice spoke again. Calm. Curious. Childlike, but not childish. Grandpa looked serious, but he hid company money in a private account in 2018. Silence exploded. Robert's face changed instantly. "What nonsense is this?" Linda grabbed his arm. "Robert, did you hear that?" Anna's smile disappeared. "Is someone playing a prank?" The nurse backed away in fear. This isn't possible." Emma's heart pounded. She looked around the room, then slowly looked down at the crib. The baby yawned. Her lips did not move. But the voice continued. "Grandma pretends to be gentle, but she cried alone every night because Grandpa never loved her." Linda's hand trembled. Tears filled her eyes. Jack stiffened. He stared at the baby. "No," he said quietly. "This is impossible." The baby kicked her legs lightly. "Daddy looks cold, but he hasn't slept for 3 days because he was scared Mommy would die during birth." Emma turned to Jack in shock. Jack's ears turned red. Anna stepped back, her voice shaking. "This isn't funny anymore." The voice paused, then sounded almost amused. "Oh, Aunt Anna hates Mommy. She smiled when Mommy slipped on the stairs last month." Anna screamed. "Shut up." She covered her ears, but the voice didn't stop. Robert's face was dark. "Where is that voice coming from?" The nurse whispered, terrified, "Sir, the sound is coming from the baby." Everyone looked at the crib. The baby blinked again, innocent and cute. "Don't look at me like that. I didn't choose this gossip system." Jack felt his scalp go numb. "Gossip system?" "Yes. I unlock secrets automatically. Everyone hears them. Congratulations." Emma almost fainted. Linda grabbed the bed rail to steady herself. This must be a dream," Anna muttered. The baby suddenly laughed softly. "Relax. I only expose the truth." Robert took a deep breath. "Enough. This is madness." "Doctor." Before anyone could move, the voice spoke again, slower this time. "By the way, Grandpa has a second family outside." Linda screamed. Robert's face turned completely white. The hospital room fell into chaos. An hour later, the room was sealed. Doctors checked machines. Psychologists asked questions. Nothing was wrong. The baby slept peacefully. But the voice returned whenever she was awake. Jack sat beside Emma. His hands clenched tightly. "I'm sorry," he said suddenly. Emma looked at him. "For what?" "For not protecting you." Emma smiled weakly. "I'm used to it." The baby opened her eyes. "Mommy shouldn't say that. Daddy will change." Jack froze. Emma stared at the baby. But first, Daddy needs to know something else." Jack swallowed. "What?" The baby's voice turned serious. "Someone in this family doesn't want me to grow up." The lights flickered. Emma hugged the baby tightly. Jack stood up. Outside the door, the family waited, each of them afraid. Because the baby had just been born. And already, no secret was safe anymore. The Johnson family mansion was unusually quiet. Normally, the living room was full of servants, footsteps, and polite laughter. Tonight, no one spoke. Every person sat stiffly, keeping distance from the small cradle placed in the center of the room. Inside it, baby Lily slept peacefully. Emma sat beside the cradle, her arms crossed around herself. She had not slept since leaving the hospital. Every time Lily opened her eyes, secrets fell like thunder. Jack stood behind Emma. For the first time since their marriage, he stood clearly on her side. Robert sat on the main sofa. His back was straight, but his hands were shaking slightly. Linda sat beside him, silent, her eyes swollen from crying. Anna stood near the stairs, pretending to scroll on her phone. No one believed her calm act. "This situation cannot spread," Robert said coldly. "If outsiders find out." The baby suddenly moved. Her eyes opened slowly. So many nervous faces. Everyone's heart dropped. Emma whispered, "Lily, please sleep." "Mommy, I'm awake now." Jack closed his eyes. "Here it comes." Anna forced a smile. "Little baby, you must be hungry, right? Don't talk nonsense." The baby's inner voice sounded innocent but sharp. Aunt Anna practiced that smile for 10 years. Too bad it's fake. Anna's fingers tightened around her phone. She cried yesterday because Grandpa promised the company shares to Daddy, not her. Anna exploded. "You shut up." Robert slammed the table. "Enough. Grandpa shouldn't shout. High blood pressure is dangerous." Linda gasped. "Lily, Grandma mixed sleeping pills into Grandpa's tea last year. Not enough to kill him. Just enough to scare him." Linda screamed and stood up. "That's a lie." Robert turned slowly. "Linda, is it true?" Linda collapsed onto the sofa, covering her face. Emma felt her chest tighten. This family was rotting from the inside. Jack stepped forward. "Dad. Mom. Stop pretending." Robert looked at his son. For the first time, he saw disappointment instead of obedience. The baby kicked her blanket. "Why are you all surprised? No one here is innocent." The door suddenly opened. Mark walked in, smiling brightly. "Uncle, I heard everyone came back early. Is something wrong?" The room became even colder. "Oh no," the baby sighed in her mind. "The smiling fox is here." Mark froze. "What?" "Cousin Mark looks kind, but he moved company money through fake contracts." Mark laughed nervously. "This is ridiculous. 3 shell companies. 2 overseas accounts. 1 illegal deal next week." Mark's face turned pale. Jack stared at him. "Mark, explain." Mark stepped back. "Jack, you can't believe a baby. He also paid someone to push Mommy on the stairs." Emma felt her legs go weak. Jack caught her just in time. The room exploded. "You did what?" Jack roared. Mark shook his head wildly. "No, I didn't. I swear." "You didn't mean to kill her," the baby added calmly. "Just wanted her to lose the baby." Emma burst into tears. Jack's eyes were red with rage. He punched Mark to the ground. Guards rushed in. Robert's voice trembled. "Call the police." Mark screamed as he was dragged away. "This family is cursed." The baby yawned. "True." Silence followed. Linda slowly walked toward Emma. She knelt down. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I believed lies. I hurt you." Emma looked at her, tears still falling. She said nothing. Jack held Emma's hand tightly. That night, the family made a decision. They would hide Lily from the world. No media. No guests. No outsiders. But secrets did not disappear just because doors were closed. Later, in the nursery, Emma sat alone with Lily. Moonlight fell softly through the window. Emma whispered, "Why you?" The baby blinked. "Because truth needs a voice." Emma smiled sadly. "But truth hurts. Lies hurt longer." Jack stood at the door, listening. For the first time, he realized something. This baby was not a curse. She was a mirror. And no one liked what they saw. The baby slowly closed her eyes. before sleeping, her voice echoed one more time. Tomorrow. Daddy's old secret will come out. Jack's heart skipped a beat. Outside the nursery, shadows moved quietly. Someone was watching. And someone was already planning their next move. Morning light filled the Johnson mansion, but no one felt warm. Jack had not slept all night. He stood in his study, staring at old photos on the wall, family dinners, company celebrations, smiles that now felt fake. Behind him, the cradle was placed carefully near the sofa. Lily was awake. Jack swallowed. You said, my secret. The baby blinked. Daddy has many secrets. Which one? Jack's jaw tightened. The one you meant. Emma entered quietly, holding a cup of warm water. Her face was pale but calm. Before Jack could stop it, the baby spoke. Daddy loved another woman for 5 years. The cup slipped from Emma's hand and shattered on the floor. Jack's heart sank. Emma stood frozen. Another woman? Jack rushed to her. Emma, listen. Daddy didn't cheat after marriage, the baby added. But he married Mommy knowing he couldn't forget his first love. Emma's tears fell silently. Jack lowered his head. I was wrong. The doorbell rang loudly. The housekeeper hurried in. Sir. Miss Sophia is here. Jack's blood turned cold. The door opened. Sophia walked in wearing a white coat, elegant and confident, like she belonged there. She smiled gently. Jack. Long time no see. Before anyone could speak. Ah. The ex-girlfriend. Sophia's smile stiffened. She didn't come for love. She came because she lost money and needs a powerful husband. Sophia laughed awkwardly. This is funny. Talking baby jokes. She faked a pregnancy 5 years ago. Jack's head snapped up. What? Sophia's face drained of color. That's why Daddy agreed to marry Mommy. To escape guilt. Emma felt like her chest was being crushed. Sophia took a step back. This is slander. The doctor was bribed. The medical report was fake. Jack staggered as if struck. Leave, Jack said coldly. Get out. Sophia's eyes turned hateful. You think you're clean? Your family is rotten. She stormed out. Silence swallowed the room. Emma wiped her tears slowly. So, that's why you married me. Jack knelt in front of her. I was selfish. But I never treated our marriage as a lie. I wanted to do right. The baby hummed softly. Daddy regrets. Mommy deserves better. Emma looked down at Lily. Her heart hurt, but strangely, it felt lighter too. That afternoon, Linda called a family meeting. Robert sat in a wheelchair. His hair seemed whiter overnight. I built this family on control, Robert said slowly. Now everything is collapsing. The baby looked at him. Grandpa's company will face an investigation soon. Robert closed his eyes. Because someone reported it anonymously. Everyone looked at Anna. Anna stood up, trembling. I didn't. Not you. The baby paused. Grandma did. Linda froze. I did it, Linda admitted softly. I was tired of living in fear. Robert laughed bitterly. Sirens echoed outside. Police cars stopped at the gate. Mark's crimes had opened the door. The Johnson empire began to shake. That night, Emma packed a small bag. Jack blocked the door. Don't leave. Emma shook her head. I need time. The baby suddenly cried. Mommy is pregnant again. Emma froze. Jack stared at her. Is that true? Emma whispered, I didn't know. Jack's eyes filled with shock and fear. This baby will be protected, Lily said firmly. Footsteps rushed upstairs. A servant screamed. Someone broke into the nursery. Jack ran. The window was open. Curtains fluttered. And on the floor, a knife. The perfect masks had fallen. And the danger was no longer hidden. The scream echoed through the mansion. Someone broke into the nursery. Jack ran faster than he ever had. Emma followed, her heart pounding wildly. Servants crowded the hallway, fear written on every face. The nursery window was wide open. Cold wind rushed inside, lifting the white curtains. The cradle was still there. Lily was still inside it. Sleeping. Emma almost collapsed in relief. Jack picked up the knife from the floor. His face turned dark. Call the police. Lock the gates. The baby slowly opened her eyes. Too slow. Jack's hand tightened. Who was it? The baby's voice was calm, almost bored. Someone who thinks I talk too much. Emma hugged Lily tightly. Why would anyone want to hurt a baby? Because truth is dangerous. Sirens grew louder outside. Police lights flashed through the windows. Downstairs, the family gathered again, this time with fear replacing shock. Robert looked exhausted. This has gone too far. Grandpa finally understands, Lily said. Power cannot protect you anymore. A police officer stepped forward. Mr. Johnson, we need to ask some questions. Before he could continue, Anna suddenly laughed. Everyone turned to her. Her smile was twisted, her eyes red. You're all crazy. Listening to a baby. Aunt Anna hired the intruder, Lily said gently. The room froze. Anna screamed, liar. She paid him to scare Mommy. If Mommy lost the baby, Daddy would break. Jack stepped toward her slowly. Anna, tell me it's not true. Anna shook her head wildly, then suddenly collapsed into tears. I just wanted what was mine, she cried. I was always second. Second child, second choice, second place. Police officers moved forward. Linda covered her mouth in horror. Anna, you're my daughter. Anna laughed bitterly. You never protected me. She was taken away in handcuffs. The baby yawned. That was loud. That night, Emma sat by Lily's bed, holding her tiny hand. Her heart was heavy. Jack stood quietly at the door. I failed you, he said. Emma didn't look up. You didn't see the danger. That's not the same as causing it. Jack stepped closer. I want to change. The baby opened her eyes. Daddy must learn patience. Jack nodded seriously. I will. The next day, news exploded. Johnson Group under investigation. Multiple arrests in wealthy family scandal. Robert watched the news silently. Grandpa built everything, Lily said. But he forgot people are not tools. Robert closed his eyes. I lost my family. Linda held his hand. You can still save it. If you let go. Robert nodded slowly. Emma went to the hospital for a checkup. Jack insisted on going with her. In the quiet room, the doctor smiled. The baby is fine. But stress is dangerous. Jack held Emma's hand tightly. Outside the room, Lily spoke softly. Someone is still watching. Jack's heart sank. Who? The nanny. Jack turned sharply. Grace stood at the end of the hallway, calm as ever. That night, Grace packed her bags. As she walked past the nursery, she sold information to Sophia, Lily said. Jack blocked the door. Grace. Stop. Grace sighed. I needed money. Police arrived again. The house became quieter. Too quiet. Later, Emma stood alone in the garden. Jack approached slowly. Are you afraid? Emma nodded. Yes. But I'm also tired of running. Jack bowed his head. I won't let anyone hurt you again. The baby laughed softly. Daddy sounds sincere. Emma smiled faintly. But Lily's voice turned serious. The worst secret is still hidden. Jack's chest tightened. What is it? The baby stared at Emma. Mommy is not as weak as everyone thinks. Emma froze. Jack looked at her. What does that mean? Emma took a deep breath. It means, she said slowly, I knew many things before Lily was born. Jack stared at her in shock. The baby closed her eyes. Next time. Mommy will speak for herself. The wind moved through the garden. And for the first time, Jack realized. The biggest change in this family was not the gossip system. It was Emma. Rain fell quietly over the Johnson mansion, washing away the noise of the past few days. The house felt empty, like a shell after a storm. Emma stood in the kitchen early in the morning, calmly making porridge. Her movements were steady. No fear. No hesitation. Jack watched her from the doorway. You knew, he said softly. Emma didn't turn around. I suspected. The spoon stirred slowly. I knew Mark hated me. I knew Anna wanted power. I knew your mother didn't trust me. I even knew about Sophia. Jack's throat tightened. Then why didn't you say anything? Emma finally turned to face him. Because no one would listen, she said simply. I was the outsider. The convenient wife. Jack felt a deep shame settle in his chest. From the living room, Lily's voice floated out. Mommy chose silence to survive. Emma walked to the cradle and picked Lily up. But now, Emma continued, her voice calm but firm, I won't stay silent anymore. Jack nodded. I'll stand with you. Lily blinked. Daddy has learned one lesson. Later that day, Robert asked to see Emma alone. They sat in the study, surrounded by heavy wooden shelves and old trophies of success. I was wrong about you, Robert said slowly. His pride made each word difficult. I thought obedience meant goodness. Emma met his gaze. I never wanted power. I wanted respect. Robert bowed his head slightly. It was the first time. I want to transfer part of the company to Jack, and you. Emma shook her head. I don't want the company. Robert looked surprised. I want safety for my children, Emma said. And freedom. Lily's voice echoed softly from the doorway. Grandpa finally understands loss. Robert closed his eyes. That evening, Linda came to Emma's room. She held a small box. I don't expect forgiveness, Linda said, placing it on the table. But this belonged to my mother. I want Lily to have it. Emma opened the box. Inside was a simple jade pendant. It protected women in our family, Linda whispered. I failed to protect you. Let me protect her. Emma nodded slowly. We can start again. Linda cried quietly. Lily giggled. Grandma's heart is lighter. But peace never came without a final price. That night, Lily's breathing changed. The house panicked. Doctors rushed in. Jack held Emma as machines beeped around them. What's happening? Emma cried. The doctor hesitated. There's nothing physically wrong, but she's unusually calm. Lily opened her eyes. Her voice was weaker. The gossip system is shutting down. Emma's heart stopped. What? It was never meant to stay. Jack leaned close. Is she dying? No, Lily replied. I was only a bridge. Emma's tears fell onto Lily's blanket. The family faced truth. The system has no reason to exist. Emma shook her head. I don't care about secrets. I want my daughter. Lily's tiny hand moved, touching Emma's finger. Mommy will have me. Just quieter. The machines slowly stabilized. Doctors sighed in relief. Jack collapsed into a chair. The next morning, sunlight returned. Lily slept like a normal baby. No voice. No secrets. Emma waited. Nothing. Jack whispered, Is it over? Emma smiled softly. Maybe it's just beginning. Suddenly, Lily laughed. Jack froze. Did you hear? But this time, there was no voice. Just a baby's laugh. Emma kissed Lily's forehead. That's enough. Jack held them both. Outside, police cars left the estate. News stopped calling. The world moved on. That afternoon, Emma stood in the garden again. Jack joined her. What will you do now? Emma looked at the sky. Raise my children. Live honestly. Jack nodded. With me. Emma met his eyes. If you can walk beside me. Not ahead. Jack smiled gently. I will. From the cradle nearby, Lily stirred. For a brief moment, a faint voice echoed only once. Truth doesn't need to shout anymore. Then silence. Real silence. The rain stopped. And the Johnson family, broken and rebuilt, finally learned. Truth was never the weapon. It was the cure. 3 months later. Spring arrived quietly. The Johnson mansion no longer felt cold or heavy. Some rooms were closed, some furniture removed. It was no longer a symbol of power, but a place where people lived. Emma sat in the living room, sunlight falling on her face. Her belly was slightly round now. She moved slowly, carefully. In her arms, Lily slept soundly. No strange voice. No secrets. Just soft breathing. Jack came in from outside, holding a stack of documents. He placed them on the table and sighed in relief. It's done, he said. I resigned as CEO. Emma looked up, surprised. You did? Jack nodded. I set up a professional management team. The company doesn't need a Johnson controlling it anymore. Emma studied his face. He looked calmer than ever. I want to be a husband first, Jack said. And a father. Emma smiled gently. That's enough. Lily stirred in her sleep and made a small sound. Jack froze. Did you hear that? Emma laughed softly. She's dreaming. Jack relaxed, then smiled. Robert now lived in a smaller house by the lake. That afternoon, Emma brought Lily to visit him. Robert carefully held Lily, his old hands trembling. She doesn't talk anymore, he said quietly. Emma nodded. She already said everything she needed to. Robert looked at the baby's peaceful face. His eyes turned red. I spent my life controlling people, he said. But a baby taught me how powerless I really am. Lily opened her eyes and stared at him. For a second, Robert's heart jumped. But there was no voice. Just a baby's curious gaze. Robert laughed through tears. Good. Let me live with my guilt quietly. Linda volunteered at a community center now. She no longer wore expensive clothes. She smiled more, and cried less. When she visited, she held Lily and whispered stories. I was afraid of truth my whole life, she told Emma one day. Now I understand, silence can also be honest. Emma nodded. As long as it's chosen, not forced. Anna was sentenced. Mark was sentenced. Sophia disappeared from the city. Grace returned the stolen money and left quietly. The Johnson name slowly faded from headlines. But inside the house, life continued. One night, a storm hit the city. Thunder rolled. Emma woke up suddenly, heart racing. She looked at Lily's crib. Lily was awake. Emma rushed over. What's wrong? Lily stared at her, eyes bright. Then, nothing. Emma waited. Still nothing. She laughed softly and picked Lily up. I know, Emma whispered. You're just hungry. As Emma fed her, Jack stood behind her, holding her shoulders. Do you ever miss it? Jack asked. The voice. Emma shook her head. No. Jack smiled. Me neither. Months later, Emma gave birth again. This time, there was no fear. No chaos. Just pain, tears, and joy. A healthy baby boy cried loudly. Jack held Emma's hand, crying openly. Lily sat in a small crib nearby, watching her brother. The nurse laughed. She's very quiet. Emma smiled. She's said enough. As they prepared to leave the hospital, Lily suddenly laughed out loud. Jack froze. Emma. Emma paused. Lily clapped her hands and said her first real word. Milk. Emma burst into laughter. Jack laughed too, tears in his eyes. No secrets. No gossip. Just a family. That night, Emma lay in bed, exhausted but peaceful. Lily slept beside her. As Emma drifted off, she thought she heard something. Very soft. Very gentle. Not a secret. Not a judgment. Just a thought. Mommy, thank you. Emma smiled in her sleep. Outside, the city lights blinked quietly. The world was still full of lies and secrets. But this family had learned something important. Truth doesn't need magic. It needs courage. And sometimes, it takes a baby to teach adults how to grow up.